I'd like to now invite all the contestants in the order that you speak. Please line up so we can go through the I will be asking each of you for your name of your club, the number, and how many years that you've been a Toastmaster. And then we'll go off a little bit and find out a little bit more about you. Then I ask that you pass the mic down and go to the end of the line. So first up, first of all, is this not a great looking bunch? Contests are always an inspiration because you never see me up here. That's why I voted for leadership roles, because we're not eligible. I have to think about what I'm doing next year. First up, speaker number 1 was Shana Monahan. Shauna.
My name is Shauna Monahan.
Club name?
Club name is Torrington Toastmasters, number 8270, and I've been a member for about 8 years now.
Now, if I look at you, you are extremely neatly dressed,
Thank you.
well coiffed, yet one of your passions are mud runs. Please tell us what they are like and what joy you get from mud runs.
I love them so much. I love them because, well, I can get down and dirty and act like a kid, right? And I also love that I can bring friends and family members and get them out of their comfort zone and create a team environment, because the mud runs, you really can't do them alone. You can, but it's so much more fun having a bunch of people with you, and to have them experience the joy that they can actually get through something they didn't know that they do. They didn't know that they could crawl under barbed wire and get to the other side. They didn't realize that we could jump over 7-foot walls and land and be fine with it. We didn't realize that we could go through the rings and have things kind of try to knock you off. It's just so much fun. And you get to run down and over and jump in mud puddles, and it's just great. And it started because I decided to quit smoking umpteen years ago, and it was a way to get my fitness level to the next level and to say, hey, yeah, I did that. And it's cool, and I just can't stop now.
Just curiosity.
It's an addiction.
Do you have kids?
No.
I want to come back when she has kids, because I'd be curious if she would allow her kids to come home filled with mud.
Yeah. Well, if you're brave enough after you get through the 3 miles and the 26 obstacles, they have a freezing cold shower that you can take. It's cold.
Well, it looks like you tie that into, when you say what inspires you is people who overcome hardships and then are active in inspiring others on the same subject. So it sounds like this ties in really nicely with it.
It does, yeah, because it overcoming the fear, lots of fear, it overcomes thinking that you can't do something.
Is she not an inspiration? Participation.
Thank you very much.
BJ.
Hello.
Contestant number 2. Name of your club, the number, and how many years in Toastmasters?
So I'm a proud member of Greater Stamford Toastmasters Club, the best dance club on the planet. It's club number 865. It was started in 1st July 1950, and I've been member of this club from last 18 months.
Wow.
Pretty fairly new to the Toastmasters.
Always an inspiration. Are standing up here on your stage. What inspires you is challenges and transparency. Tell me a little bit about what you mean by transparency.
Well, that comes from my disappointment from my work, looks like. Well, transparency is what I look for in a leader, in a person, or in any relationship. So when I when I say transparency, it really is that we are open. We do take shelters in small white lies, but we are in general honest with each other, and we don't hide things. So that's what I mean by transparency. When I see transparency, it's an environment of trust, and when the environment of trust cultivates, you just grow and take all your fellow friends, members, or your community along. So that inspires me and makes me do things which I never thought I could do.
It seems as though you have a pretty daytime stressful job in Tata Consulting Services, and to relieve some of that stress, it looks like you are interested in outside sports, and I'm going to make a guess that mud running is not one of them. So what is one of your favorite outdoor sports that you enjoy?
Yeah, I love outdoor sports actually, and my favorite sports is volleyball. It's a team sport again, so I love playing volleyball. I played it in my childhood. During my college days, I was part of my college volleyball team, and I just enjoy it. And it's not about only volleyball. In general, outdoor sports, they inspire me. I think I started doing more outdoor sports just to get away from the cultural activities or public speaking activities or stage activities. But that's something I really enjoy, going out there and get ready. Of course, not mud running.
You can add it to your repertoire.
Yes, I think I got a good cue.
Thank you. I would like to present you with a certificate of participation. Thank you, BJ.
Thank you.
The name of your club, the number, and how many years you've been a Toastmaster, Jennifer Mighty.
Windsor Talk It Up Toastmasters, club number 8045, and I've been a member of Toastmasters since January of this year.
I love the quote that you have, and I think you indicated a little bit by some of what you spoke to us about. The purpose of life is a life with purpose. What gives you purpose, Jennifer?
What gives me purpose is serving others. That allows me to live a fulfilled life. And I feel that everyone should find their purpose and live it, because regardless of what you do, if you're not living your purpose, you will continue to be and feel unfulfilled. So I love to serve, especially women, and that's what I do. And of course, making my son happy.
And on that note, you have a 13-year-old. What things have you taught him in this little stage in his life? What kind of purpose does he now demonstrate as an example of your good role modeling?
What I work on teaching my son constantly is not even to use the word can't. I don't believe in using that word, and so I teach him never use that word. And there's a saying, always say you can. Never say you can, always say you can. And so I try to teach him that. And now he feels his purpose is to play NBA basketball. And I don't try to kill that purpose. I try to help him to, explore other things, but I still believe in helping others to pursue their dream. And so I do whatever I can to help him to pursue that dream. And if that continues to be his dream, because you know how kids are, they're fickle, it changes. But if it continues to be his dream as he gets older, I definitely want to stand by him and look forward to him accomplishing that.
Well, hopefully you've been a good role model this morning to help other people who are sitting now, maybe getting up and showing their purpose during the next contest. So thank you, Jennifer. Sarah Nolan was our fourth contestant, and a little bit name and number of your club, and how many years you've been a Toastmaster?
Sure. So my club is Dutchess Chamber of Commerce, which is in Poughkeepsie, New York, just up Route 9. And I've been a member 5 years this month.
Wow. One of your recent accomplishments that you just feel so proud of is that you have been able to do headstands in yoga. Now, I know that that is supposed to be beneficial. Tell me how that has helped you be such a good speaker.
Well, I just started yoga up just in September, and I've been taking classes at Marist College, which is where I work, and within the third class I was able to get into a headstand. And initially I thought there was no way that that was going to happen anytime soon. So I was just going to stand in a V and, you know, have that be it. But what I realized is that if I didn't trust myself, and if I didn't take that risk, then I wouldn't be able to try. And with that, I was able to stay and be balanced and, you know, and have something different show up in my life. And it was actually really exciting to have and to be able to continue to do it again and again. It wasn't just one fluke. That was really exciting. And what I see for Toastmasters and for speaking is that it's about taking that risk. And it's about getting perhaps off balance, getting upside down a little bit, just to see if you can. And when you can, practice it more and more so that it becomes natural and more of your comfort zone, just like public speaking.
You kind of answered my question, because I was going to say, yes, standing on your head was certainly a great accomplishment. I do Bikram yoga, which is 106 degrees. I think accomplishment is just staying in the room. I haven't stood on my head, although they talk about having all the blood in your head is supposed to be very helpful. But I was curious, and I think you answered it, what other accomplishments did you think that you could challenge as a result of that one little one?
Yeah, I think the other piece of yoga is that I found that it's not, you don't have to be a certain body type to do yoga. I didn't think that because I wasn't a size 6 that there was no way that I was going to get into some of those poses. And despite, you know, the curves on my body and my size, like, I can still accomplish a lot more with yoga than I ever thought possible. And to me, that was a big reminder that your body is really magical and it can do things as long as your brain puts yourself in that mindset.
And I think we learned this morning that sometimes you have to go out and fail, but actually find out that, do you really fail or do you just learn another skill? So I thank you, and I look forward to, I'm glad that you're upright for us this morning. But I look forward to seeing you upside down at some point in the future. Contestant number 5. Does anybody know Norm Thibodeau? Never seen him in my life. The name of your club, the number, and how many years you've been a Toastmaster.
I was calmly waiting for the whole question. I'm a proud member of Club 1389 United Health Group Toastmasters. How much do I love this club? I left the company about 6 months ago, and I stayed with the club. That's how much I love the club.
He has got so many interests that, can you remember them? I would like you to tell me about just one of the 40 that you've listed here. He leads a very boring life.
Yeah, I have nothing to do. Really, you guys don't want to know anything more about me. I mean, you've already heard from our esteemed table topics master, my name is a mouthful. What more is there to know? But I know what you're all thinking deep down in your mind is, what the heck is a mud run? That's what I'd like to hear more about. And furthermore, after hearing other interviews, I've got this picture in my mind, I can't get rid of it, and that's seeing Sarah doing the headstand at Shauna's mud run. It's going to take a lot of shampoo. Well, one of my interests, aside from Toastmasters, I do have many. I like to do a lot of do-it-yourself work. I'm getting a little older now, so it's a little tough, but I'm still tearing apart stone walls around my house, moving them to where I want them to be, putting up fences. I just finished doing 2 acres worth of leaves. Anybody going to help me next year, please? But I have a lot of interests, it's true. But Toastmasters got to be pretty near the top of the list.
I'm just curious about one thing. I liked your quote, because I love Stephen Covey. Seek first to understand and then to be understood. Give me an example of what brought this quote to life for you.
We have to live our lives as human beings in interaction and in interdependency with everybody else. How often have you seen misunderstandings come from presuming what your counterpart is thinking or why they're doing what they're doing? And you presume that, and you make assumptions, and you're off on a path thinking this is the worst person in the world, whatever. If you just sought first to understand, where are they coming from, before you seek to be understood yourself. That's my favorite quote from Stephen Covey. And if you haven't read the book, by the way, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I don't get any kind of royalties or anything. Put it on your to-do list. First published in 1986, it is just as important today as it was those 20, 30 years ago.
I believe it's in the bookstore as well.
I think it is, yes.
Thank you. What a plug, huh? Thank you, Norm. Contestant number 6 is Jim Goddard. Name of your club, number, and how many years you've been a Toastmaster.
Okay, Rich, if I get it wrong, you have to help me out here. It's Nutmeg out of Woodbridge, Connecticut. It's 764. Okay, and how many years I've been there? I have to do the division. It's been 0.25. I joined in September this year. This whole Toastmasters thing, so I'm enjoying it so far.
I like this, how you said, what inspires you most is your children. And you are a teacher, I believe.
I am.
Do you ever get enough, too much of kids? Tell me a little bit about what inspires you about being totally surrounded 24/7 with kids.
I'm just looking out here and it looks like the same as I have in my classroom half the time, just a little older. I love teaching. What I love about teaching is I've got a blank slate. When they walk into my classroom, they know very little about my topic. And they have an idea and they're all a little nervous because physics is not the favorite subject that they look forward to taking. Usually those students are there because they have to be there. Mom and Dad said, you shall take this class. You shall be that doctor. You shall be that engineer. You're going to take physics. I walk in and I go, guess what? You're going to learn the most important thing you've ever learned in your life. Forget about what they said about kindergarten being everything you learned the rest of your life you learned in kindergarten. No. It's in this class because this class teaches you everything about life and how it works.
I think one of the most interesting things about you that you shared with me, and it wasn't officially on your form, is that your father was a Toastmaster.
Yes, he was.
How long did it take you to join knowing he was a Toastmaster? And why did it take that long?
Well, I'm an AARP card holder. My father joined Toastmasters back in I think it goes back that far. It goes back to 1958. Oh, it goes back to 24? Okay. He was, I'm safe, okay. He was a Toastmaster for many, many years. He lived in Florida while I lived up north teaching. I couldn't afford to get a job in Florida because teachers aren't paid very well down there, and I just never moved to Florida. But he enjoyed Toastmasters. When I go visit, he'd drag me off to one of the meetings, go to breakfast. They had a breakfast Toastmasters. And before to go to work, so we get there very bright and early. I go, Dad, really? We're going to go to a breakfast buffet and sit around and talk about speaking? Really? But it was kind of fun. I got the free breakfast. I didn't have to pay for it. And so I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, he passed away many years ago. in 2008, and he was a Toastmaster for almost 30 plus years, DTM and all that. He enjoyed it immensely, and he kept sharing with me and dragging me off to it. I never joined because I was too busy teaching. I didn't have time, and I wasn't about to get up at 5:36 in the morning to go run off to public speaking when I do that all day long. I'm in class all day long. You know, one of the things I've realized after listening to all this, excuse me, teachers are never taught how to public speak. They need to have Toastmasters as part of their training, because you get out of college, what do they first do? They throw you to the wolves. And you have no idea, other maybe how to class manage, you don't have any idea how to speak to an audience. And that's a skill that this club, this organization, can give all new teachers. And it should be something that Toastmasters should explore to all universities, because they can bring something to that.
Absolutely. And just to make you feel a little bit more comfortable, my husband is a teacher, and he teaches public speaking in the high school.
Thank you.
Contestant number 7,
Yes.
Terry Goodemont.
Yes, my name's Terry Goodemo from the North Country Club 6295 up in Glens Falls, New York, home of the esteemed Val Albert, who's our fearless leader and has helped us to get here. So thank you, Val. Let's give her a round.
In reading about you, you reflect Val Albert. So I'm going to ask you, because I like what the quote that you gave. You make a life by what you give. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. Winston Churchill. Give me a little bit of background on what resonated with you to pick that particular quote.
Well, that's something I strongly believe in, and not only align that thought, but back it up with actions. And if each of us do that to give back to our communities, to make our families and communities stronger, that's kind of my passion. So I do that either through involvement with the church at an early age. My most inspirational moment, actually at 5th grade, receiving the Arrow Light Award with Boy Scouting and making a pledge and cleaning up our community. That was back in the 70s. So I continued as a 25-year volunteer with that organization, and just continue to look for organizations where you find people who provide inspiration. So yes, you can go to the bookstore and pick up that book for 7 Habits for Highly Successful People. It's much more difficult to put those words into action. And that's what I encourage people like Val Albert, who we're coming into a Toastmasters meeting and she's encouraging us to go down and just give it a try, do the competition. And they are providing the altruistic service to others. And that's what's inspiring to me, is to see those people. And the more we found interacting with not only Toastmasters, but other organizations that I align myself with, it brings gratefulness to your heart to see that inspiration and have that reflect back into your actions. So that's what I'm most inspired by.
I need to tell you that I am running the nominations committee for next year. And as this audience is my witness, does this sound like a really good leader for next year? That's a phone call in addition to your certificate of appreciation. A resounding applause for this partner. I would invite you all to take a seat and invite the senior team up, the trio, so that we can do the awards for the contest.